Yeah! What's up guys, it's Will from EDM Tips. Today I'm going to show you how to make melodic techno or melodic house in the style of Franky Wah. But I'm also going to show you how to create his old school breakbeat style as well, like in his track Come Together. So you get two for the price of one today. I've had so many requests for Franky Wah in the last few weeks, and I actually mastered one of his tracks a couple of years ago, so I've been looking forward to this one. We will be covering the kick and the bass. So we're just going to fatten up the kick and the bass together with this processing chain. We will be covering the vocals. We will be covering those Franky Wah arpeggios. And so much more. And then we're going into the second part, which is going to be doing an old school rave piano with some quality rave vocals. You can download this project file, all the presets and samples completely free below this video, and if you dig it, smash like, tell your friends, and without further ado, let's hop into the door and get it done. Alright, let's do it. Franky Wah in a one-take video. First thing we're going to do is choose a suitable tempo, 124 BPM. Let's name this bad boy Franky Wah, Franky Panky. Sorry everyone, that's what's happened. Next thing we're going to do is create the bass line. I'm going to use Serum for this, but you could use Wavetable if you're using the Ableton Live plugins, or you could use pretty much any other synth, but I know a lot of you guys have asked me about Serum and how to use it, so that's what we're going to use today. So we're going to be using a respace sound that is very characteristic of Franky's sound, even his older sounds as well. So let's first create a bass line. Let's just write in, let's say the key of B flat minor. So the easy way to do that is just draw in all of the notes, all of the white notes from A to A, and that's A minor. Grab them all, whack them up one, and now that is A sharp minor or B flat minor. So I'm going to just create a couple of octaves of that by dragging and selecting. And you can do this using Ableton 11, using the scale control that's there. But if you're using Ableton 10, this is how you do it. I've just nudged them aside, and now we've got 3 octaves of B flat minor. So let's draw in this bass line. In fact, I'm going to grab all of those, hold shift, press down, and now we're working an octave lower. And I'm just using any of these notes once I pressed fold, and I can't go wrong. I know it's going to sound good because it's in the right key, and all of these notes are. Let's add a bit of interest to that bass line there. Dum, dum, dum. So it's just happening before the beat, which adds a little bit more groove, a little bit more rhythm. Whoops, but we only want one bass note playing at a time. Bum, bum, bum. And again, I'm just using the template. Bum, bum, bum. And then we're going to give it that lovely rich respace sound. Dum, dum, dum. Cool, that's our bass line. So I know it sounds gash at the moment. Can I say gash? Yeah, I'm going to say gash. So let's Reese it up Buttercup. Reese's Buttercup. First thing we're going to do is add some unison. I'm going to add 12. So that's a lot of saw waves happening at once. And I'm going to turn the detune down slightly. Otherwise, it's going to be a bit hardcore. I'll turn the volume down as well. But you can hear, now we've already got a lovely rich sound. Now we want to get a lovely brass kind of wow at the beginning, which is very characteristic of melodic techno and melodic house nowadays anyway. So let's turn on the filter. And now we want that to open up, so I'm going to use an envelope for that. I'll just drag that onto there. and then we're going to turn the sustain down and just tweak this decay. So you can hear it closes down over time. I might add a little bit of attack just to make it a little more brassy. This is going to be too much, but a little bit is fine. Let's see if that works better an octave down. Yeah, that's good. Now let's put a sub frequency on. We're going to use a sine wave, and we are just going to take it down an octave. So we've got this lovely deep bass now. Whoops, looking at the wrong camera. Okay, let's get a kick drum in there because that tick is annoying as hell. So I'm going to use one of the kicks from the EDM Tips Creative Toolkit. I'll put a link to that below as well if you want some really good samples and presets. Let's use this kick, nice and clean, just on every beat. And let's add a tiny bit more movement to that bass line. I'm going to add a second oscillator, and I'm going to just look for some weird other wave. Let's just have a look through. Okay, and what we're going to do is make sure that the second oscillator is also going to the filter. Then I'm going to use the same envelope and apply it to the wavetable position, just to add a little bit of movement to that sound. Turn down the amount that the envelope's controlling that wavetable. And I'm also going to add an LFO to that same parameter, the wavetable position. And I'm going to just take it off sync. So if we turn it off, it's a subtle difference. And you can choose a better oscillator wave if you like. That's good. Just adds a lovely richness to it. Okay, on to the next stage. We are going to quickly add a sidechain compressor there. Boom, boom, boom. Then we'll get some beats on the go. So just a normal compressor in Ableton. Open it up, press sidechain, choose your input. I've created a sidechain channel here, as usual, just with a little click sound rather than a kick, because the click is very short, and then all the control over the length of that pump comes from the compressor. So and I've also, if you open up the routing, you can see I've selected sends only, so you never actually hear that tick. It only controls the sidechain compression. So you can hear now our bass is, its bass is pumping. So I'm going to call that the pump compressor. Let's call it pump comp. And I'm going to do some more mixing to that bass to make it sound even fatter very soon. So don't worry about that. Okay, next thing we're going to do is create an arpeggio. Now I'm actually going to use the Anna synth by, who is it by? I will tell you in a second. It is by Sonic Academy. Now, they've just sent me this. You can use any synth, but this one's cool. It's got some really good presets on it. So I wanted to give it a go. And what we're going to do is create an arpeggio manually. So we're not going to use an arpeggiator. We're just going to draw it in. And it's going to be a very simple repeating arpeggio. And what we're going to do, well, we'll turn that down. You can use the same template technique. So you can grab all of those. Oh, that was a very loud sound. You can use that same template technique. So just put it into your arpeggio, press fold, And now you can use this same template to draw in your arpeggio. I choose a slightly different sound. That's too loud, too long. I need a pluck. Let's try this one. And we'll zoom in a bit so we can add some syncopated rhythm to it. Let's get 16ths. There we go. So you can see how easy, once you've drawn in the template of that scale, or in Ableton 11, just choose the scale from over here. It's very easy to kind of play around, and you'll always come up with something that sounds good. And it's going to work on every bass note. Cool, so that was quick. I don't know if that's quite the right sound, but it's short and plucky and it'll do for now. I'm going to duplicate that and create a secondary arp as well. And again, it's going to use the same key, so it's nice and simple. I'll just delete these. So the arpeggios kind of play around each other, they work with each other to add more interest to the track. And again, we can just repeat it and it's going to sound good on every bass note. Let's turn it down a bit. This is supposed to be quite subtle. That sounds good like that. Let's just do that. Then we're going to add some vocals. We could even take that one down and it would still work. Cool, sounds good to me. Let's get some beats in there after we've got some vocals in there. Cheeky, cheeky, sneaky, sneaky. So what we're gonna do is open Splice. I love going to Splice to find vocals very quick. Just go vocal, choose the key that we're working in, which in this case is it could be B flat minor or A sharp minor. And for whatever reason, A sharp minor has more sounds in it on Splice. So that's what we're going to use. So A sharp minor vocals. And now we can experiment, and any of these are going to sound good because we know it's in the right key. So here we go. Let's just audition some over the top. Nice, okay. Can't go wrong with a bit of Cara. Or yeah, Cara, however you say her name. So A sharp minor, and just listen some over the top. Like, that sounds awesome. Nice one, Cara. Good work, girl. Let's just use that then. Downloaded it. It's a different BPM, but that's no problem because we got Ableton on our side. Of course, you can do that now in Logic and probably FL Studio, but I haven't used FL for years, so I'm not sure if you can do it in that. If you've got some way to warp vocals, I'm pretty sure you would be able to. So where are we? We have got my library. Samples recently added. Let's just drag and drop. Let me know if you're enjoying this so far, guys. Give me a hell yeah or an amen, brother, in those comments below, because you know I love it. And let me know, please let me know what style you want me to cover next. This one was actually requested, well, by a lot of you guys, but specifically one of my masterclass mentees, and they kind of get first dibs. So yeah, let's just have a listen to this vocal. In fact, we're not going to listen to it because we've already listened to it. Press warp, rewarp it, and we've got to make sure we put in the right tempo. So you can see here it's 150 BPM and it's in the correct key. So we just put 150 BPM, choose Complex Pro, And now that should fit quite nicely. So I can see that it's a bit starting after the beginning of the clip. So I'm just going to double click, drag in a bit, and then take this marker over to where I want it to be starting. And if we look and see what's happening in the timeline, you can see it shifting over. Perfect. Let's color that the natural color of vocals, which is pink. And then we are going to add another classic Franky Wah technique, which is to add a string, like a sustained string. It's an old house music kind of technique. Still works, still sounds great, adds added tension, added depth to that music. So let's just call it strings. You could use any string sound really, because it's so low back in the mix. So what I'm going to do, I may as well use an Ableton Live one. Let's go to some strings then. In fact, I'll go sounds, strings. We want a nice sustained one. That's perfect, absolutely perfect. Who'd have thought, eh? And then we'll just have a sustained note on the root note of the track. And we could have repeated a couple of octaves below as well for more tension. And now just select those, drag them across, and push it right back in the mix. Let's tweak this up. I like that one because it's got some more staccato to it. We're almost there, guys. Like, we're almost there on the loop, but we need to get some percussion in. You know that. So let's do it. Again, let's use the creative toolkit because it's awesome. And then we are going to add some hi-hats, some claps, and a shaker. That's kind of cool. So let's just program something in really quickly. I'm going to have to turn that down a bit. Let's just duplicate. Very simple stuff, guys. You know, when you're going for a melodic techno sound, you don't want to be overcomplicating the rhythm really. So let's see what we got going on. Yes. Feels. Right, there's definitely something we need to do. That kick and that bass needs to be fat. Right, let's put it in this group. This group is called Fat. And we're going to color it white, the color of pure fat. And then we are going to put a drum bus on it. And we're just going to dial in a little bit of that drum bus. I'm feeling a bit reckless. So that's without it, and this is with it. Hello, you beautiful fat beast. Now we are going to add some more drums in there. So let's get a clap on the go. Creative toolkit. Claps. We're going to use a classic 909 clap for, in fact, what we're going to do with this is we're going to add some room reverb onto it by using the drum rack. If you open up the routing here, press R, you can see I've created these return chains and then selected the auxiliary channels, my global auxiliary channels. And if you want more information about all the gubbins, check out my 8-week masterclass or my Radio Ready program to go through everything that you need to know. But that's pretty much how you would set up the auxiliary channels. So now we can dial in a little bit of room reverb just on that clap. Let's see. Let's turn off fold. Like so. And we're just going to have like some incidental claps with that one. In fact, we could also add some delay on there. Now, I don't know if Franky Wah does this, but I'm going to do it because that's what I want to do. I'm going to add some delay, just echoing off into the distance, ping pong. Like so. Just to add some more interest, now let's add the main clap in there. And then we've got a couple more things to do before we move into part 2 of the other kind of Franky Wah style, that breakbeat style, which I wanted to show you today as well. So let's go. Don't forget to comment, guys, like, subscribe, share with your mates. Okay, let's use this clap for the time being. And just put one on every other beat, as you would expect with a clap. I might add another one of those real, like 909 claps. The second one, turn it right down, and I'm going to layer up my main clap as well. So now we've got 2 claps playing. Bit of room reverb. And then an open hat as well, just to kind of open things up, get things really cooking along. So where would that be? Cymbals, hi-hats. Let's try this one. Nice and sharp, keep it low in the mix. Just duplicate it in between every beat, and let's feed it in slowly. Let's make it a bit shorter. A little bit of panning. Nice. Right, okay, let's add, what do we need to add now? I mean, that's pretty much done. Next, it would be a case of arranging it. Perhaps adding some effects on the vocals. But there's a lot of delay and reverb already baked into the stem. But if not, then I might add some in on the auxiliary channel with a bit of hall reverb. But it's already got a lot of reverb, that's the thing. So that is that melodic techno kind of house vibe. Let's just do a tiny bit of arrangement. So what are we going to do? All right, let's just silence the notifications. Here we go. And let's take out the kick. In fact, what I'm going to do is I'm going to add some delay, some reverb over all of the drums. It sounds weird, but this is just for the break. In fact, no. I'll have a bit of the dry there. So then on the drop, they come in full power. You know, and you could choose other vocals to go over that too. Let's just look for more from that same sample pack. So it's got the same sound, sounds like it's coming from the same place, because it is her face. Let's have a listen. Any other nice ones?
Forever in your heartbeat.
Okay, we'll use that one. I've used that before for something, but let's just do it anyway. We'll drag that in. Again, make sure it's the right tempo. 150. Boom, boom, boom. Complex Pro. And then let's see if it fits in. There you go, guys. Now let's look at the other style that I wanted to mention, the Franky Wah style. We are going to be doing like this breakbeat old ravey thing. Now I'm not going to be doing too much changing in terms of the core sound, so let's just turn off the arps, turn off the vocals. We're going to use the same chords, but we're going to change the drums for the time being. We'll keep the kick ready for when we need to use it, and I'm just going to load in some kind of breakbeat sample. Probably, where am I going to find like an old school breakbeat sample? I don't know. Let's just go here. Breakbeat in Splice, drums, loops, and let's see if anything good comes. Don't be rubbish. That's rubbish. Okay. Oh, yes, mate. Junglist. That's a bit hardcore for today, though. Right, I'm just going to look on my samples on my hard drive. Do I have any drum loops? Where would that be? They sound a bit rubbish. Okay, that's going to do for now for our purposes. But get like the Amen Brother loop or something like that. 135 BPM. Let's speed it up a bit to 126. And we're just going to reprogram those kicks to be in that breakbeat style. Dun, dun, dun. Now, it's not perfect. I'm just trying to give you an impression of how his sound has similarities, you know, across the different genres. And why is that going out of tune? Okay, I know why, because I didn't copy it bang on the change at the bar like so. Let's try again. Okay. Now let's get that piano riff in there. Bit of M2 chord piano. I'm going to do this with a sampler. Let's call this piano, and I'm going to find my samples. Let's see, piano, Korg M1, sorry. Like classic rave piano sound. Need to get that in there in a simpler. Cool. Now let's follow those same bass notes. So it is in, well, the key of A sharp minor. Let's turn that down a bit. So this is just a normal triad. And the seventh. Dun, 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 dun. And let's just copy that rhythm. It goes twice, doesn't it? Like, this isn't really good. Let's shape that piano slightly, add a bit of release. So just creating that rave feeling. And then we can use a sus chord on the last one. Whoops, put it in the wrong place. That looks about right. So we'll add a little bit of room reverb to that. So that's just a really quick example of how you might get that Franky Wah breakbeat sound, like whatever that track was that was really good and everyone liked. Come Together, that's the one. So let's just find a vocal for that as well, but a bit more epic. Let's go vocal, female, because it's rave, A sharp minor, get something sounding pretty like powerful.
Are you ready to handle me?
Like, that's not really the vibe, but it's powerful. She's got a good voice, so let's do it. Kate Wild, a bit like Kate Moss, a bit like Catherine of Aragon as well, but you know, more singy. A sharp minor, and that is 100 BPM. So let's just drag that in. I should really, you know, edit out that ridiculous thing that was masquerading as some kind of joke. But life's too short. 100. Okay, here we go. Warp 100. Complex Pro. Let's do it. Yes, Kate. Yes, I am. Let's get it in there. The vocal, you understand. That's pretty cool. And then more vocals. Let's I've kind of finished, guys. Like, if you want to stick around whilst I just kind of jam it out a bit. Let's see if we got any more.
But I like losing control.
No.
We've got to work it out. Are you ready?
Like that one's cool. That kind of sounds like it could be from the same track. Let's see. Just drag that in, 100 BPM. Make sure we warp it correctly. 100. Complex Pro. Right. Old school rave in a Frankie Wah style. Let's see what she's singing about. Yeah! Alright, there you have it, guys. You can download this project below this video completely free with all the presets, all the samples. Don't forget, if you do like the samples, please support the channel, get the EDM Tips Creative Toolkit. There is a link to it below. And yeah, if you dig it, share it with your friends. And until next time, thanks for watching. Cheers and happy producing.